This is going to make you very uncomfortable. We could have got snatched so goddamn quickly.
Most of the people there bought drugs from me.
It all makes sense now. Red Roof Inn? No, a Knight's Inn.
Oh, even classier.
My dad wants to know how old you and your sister are.
That motherfucker has to register by zip code.
And I was like, oh, that was weird.
I was court-ordered to see 2 psychiatrists and a therapist, except for they did say I was amazingly well-adjusted, which is a fancy way of saying, this motherfucker's in some fucked up shit.
My friend Valerie says I have amazing coping skills. And I'm like, that's a very kind way to put that.
Because I asked him after he spoke with me for 3 minutes after talking to mom for like 2 hours. If you just want to fuck my mom, that's fine, but why do I got to be in the room? Of course, you mess that up, it could kill her, so you got to be really careful on how you dose it and how you tighten it up.
Do people really live like this?
And if you're really, really good and mom and dad have like a lot of extra money, you could get a 15-cent can of Shasta. Freaking kid was loaded. His parents, like, they had 2 working vehicles, one for each of them. They had a garage door that automatically opened.
Is that the one next to the KKK house?
Well, hello and welcome back to our podcast. We have you not yet officially named. We've tried names like My Life and The Van Dyke Show.
The Van Dyke Dick Show.
The Van Dyke Dick Show. That's another good one. Did we have to bleep Dick in that reference? No, it's just how he would have spelled his name, like the actor.
Yeah.
If it was on, like on his license or something, it would have been Van Dyke Dick.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Well, then we're cool then. Yeah, totally fine. If it is, it was Samson's idea. The dog sitting next to us here. Last time we talked, we were not actually intending on making a podcast. This time it's a little different. We're actually doing this intentionally, sort of. Figure we're going to talk a little bit more about our fun time in Grand Haven. No promises about staying on script, however, but that's the intention to start with anyway.
Yeah, initially Ryan brought over this audio equipment to show me how to use it because I wanted to record videos of me making artsy stuff and basically just putting it on TikTok and YouTube for the masses. And he's just like, oh, here, try out this very expensive audio equipment for these stupid videos. And the banter back and forth was magical. So...
It sure was. And also, yes, in case anyone's thinking, she said, I want to make videos. And I said, cool, let me bring over audio equipment. That actually, that's exactly how that happened.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, I was just going to put like a music dub or something over. I was like, is the audio important? I was like, some of them I will speak in. And he's like, yes, the audio is important. So
audio is everything.
But he's the tech guy, so I'm going to trust his opinion on that.
Oh, well, first time anyone's ever trusted my opinion. About Grand Haven. Sorry, I'm still not comfortable with this new setup. So I was like, is this recording things or are we just making white noise? But apparently it's doing stuff. So that's good news.
Well, good.
Last time we talked a little bit about Grand Haven, which was the campground our father moved to after he was no longer allowed to live in the house because of the divorce and the whatnot. And so we stayed with him because it was summer at a campground in Grand Haven, Michigan. We were rich, fancy folk like everybody else because we had a camper trailer because I think Dad cashed out the balance of his 401k that was left. And that's what he spent it on, which... I got to be honest, that might be the only responsible purchase he's ever made.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also, like, he moved into this camper trailer in the campground because he wanted some independence from his parents because that was the only place left he had to go. Mm-hmm. And, of course, his dad getting on his case, man, about not letting him do what he wants to do. So Dad was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, like
and his only affordable option was to buy this camper and live there for the summer and basically one day at a time. That if he had to move back in with his parents or someone else come wintertime, he was going to cross that bridge when he got there. That was not.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Did he take that money? Because he bought it outright.
Right.
And did he use that money for a down payment on a home? No. Did he get a vehicle that didn't look like a child molester van? No. Did he continue driving a van that got like 4 miles to the gallon to cart his own ass around back and forth to work? Yes.
But that van was amazing.
It was, dude, that van was pimp. I mean, seriously, the tinted windows.
They had little curtains on it.
Yes, the little curtains.
And then it had the table in the middle that you could take down, just like in a camper. That it was a post that went into the ground or the floor of the van in the middle there. And then there was a tabletop that how'd it go on top? It like locked into the pole somehow.
Correct. I just always was like, this is strange. Like, I hope there's a vampire in the van if we ever get into an accident, because there's nothing that actually locks it into the floor. So it's just going to launch out somewhere. I mean, I think there was supposed to be, but everything we had was janky. So I guess this was Dad's plan. He's like, well, I was just going to, like Chris Farley it and live in a van down by the river. I'm going to get a camper.
Well, I mean, he was a rock star. Don't all rock stars just like live in their vehicle and like they're just on the road for months because they're just fucking living the dream?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, that back bench folded down into a full-size bed.
That's right.
That was impressive.
Oh, yeah. You got to have a shaggin' wagon.
Uh-huh. We'd just have the seat folded down and us kids would just be riding on the mattress in the back, going down the road, not buckled in.
No. Which was actually the law back then. So before anybody thinks, how old are these fuckers? That was acceptable? Let me be clear. Nothing we're going to talk about are we saying was acceptable behavior. It was just the behavior while Dad had his mixed drink. I mean, seriously, it's like if you get pulled over and they're like, wow, that's a nice tumbler glass with ice in it, it's kind of like when you watch the Trailer Park Boys. You're not confused what the guy has in his cup, right? I mean, you're like, oh, he's got whiskey and Coke or whatever. And so did Dad. Well, Canada House specifically because he was fancy. Yeah. No Crown. It was Canada House. Yeah. So yeah, that sets the scene for Grand Haven. There was a lot. We plugged the trailer in. It was septic, so that was cool. So we got to run to that. And there was a lot of old people. And who weren't old people were, what's the word? Oh, transients. That's what I was looking for. And I mean that in a loving way. People in a transitional point in their life for a duration of time. Just some people's duration was longer than others and some seem permanent.
And this campground, if you've never been, is bookended by, what's the highway that runs through Grand Haven? 31. And the railroad track that went on the backside of Blockbuster and the Ford dealership. And if we were really good and we had a lot of spare pocket change, our really cool older brother, either of them, would take us to the train track if the train came through and we got to put quarters and dimes, and sometimes we'd stack them. That was really something. And the train would run them over, and you had to be careful that they didn't projectile into your direction. And then once the train passed through, then we were indicated that it was safe to go look for our money somewhere in the grass or on the tracks itself. Sometimes we found them, sometimes we didn't. But oh man, those stacked coins, those were a collector's item amongst us campground kids.
Oh, yeah. And, the thing is for those of you listening who can't understand why that's entertaining, remember, we didn't have Netflix. So when y'all want entertainment, you just pull it up on your magic devices. We're like, is there a locomotive that can't stop if we're in the way? Yeah. Let's put some stuff on the tracks and see what happens and then dodge it when it comes flying.
So because the entrance to the campground, the parking lot area was the Blockbuster and the Ford dealership, every Friday night after we'd get raised, we'd go pick out a movie at Blockbuster. The guys would pick out, a movie. And then usually if I picked out a movie, it was either like, Winnie Pooh's Grand Adventure, or it was Chucky, or, what's the other thing? Critters.
Oh, yeah.
Usually some type of horror. I loved horror movies, but obviously I'm like 7.
Yeah, so you got to bookend it with Winnie the Pooh.
And so of course Dad's just like, yeah, whatever, get whatever you want, because he knew that he wasn't gonna watch it with me. So he's just like, I don't give a fuck. He's just like, if that's what you want to get, go ahead. And did parental ratings on the front of the VHS wasn't really a thing back then. But I was just like, ooh, I bet this movie would scare the pants off of me. This looks awesome. Yes, let's get this one. So that was always my choice. And then when we ran out of movies, our 2 movies that we got to watch, we still have Saturday and Sunday to get through. Train Tracks it was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and all the little urchin children were out there playing around, so that was fun.
Yeah. That one real annoying kid that was David's age, who was also named Ryan.
Yeah,
cool. If he wasn't at our fucking camper playing, what was it, Sega? Was it the Sega system we had, or did you have the
PlayStation?
Or was that the PlayStation?
I think it might have been PlayStation. Either way.
You guys traded in the Sega system to Funkoland.
Yes,
that's dating me right now. For the PlayStation, I was pissed because there went my Lion King game.
Yes,
and I mean, mostly it was Lion King. I was trying my damnedest to get past that wildebeest level. It couldn't be done.
It's impossible.
But
gotta have Game Genie.
Then when you traded in for the PlayStation, and then you got a like a demo disc, it was almost like a commercial game that you got to play, basically a 5-minute snippet of like 12 different games.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Tomb Raider and Grand Theft Auto on that, and I said, Lion King what?
Yep.
I was like, in this game, I get to fight tigers with a knife and have titties. And in this game, I get to gun people down and then go steal a car and then drive across town and go paint it a different color.
Mm-hmm. To get the cops off me?
This appeals to me. I don't know why, but man, where has this been all my life?
Yeah, it's like we were in training the whole time to be criminals. It's so weird.
But anyway, because we had that very awesome, one of the 2 game systems at our camper, managed to hook it up to the what was it, like a 12-inch?
Yeah.
Not even.
No,
it was a tube television set that was installed into the upper corner above the dining set.
Correct.
And so if you sat, you couldn't sit at the dining table and watch the TV unless you wanted to basically look at the ceiling.
Yeah, you'd break your neck.
So you had to sit on the couch, which was all the way at the back of the camper, underneath the main window where you pull the camper from, which also folded down into a bed. So basically, you would sit 30 miles away from this 3-inch television screen with all of the child wonder in your eyes and be like, oh, the graphics.
I know. This is amazing.
It really was. Well, I mean, it obviously was, because that younger kid, Ryan, would not stay out of her camper. And we're trying to sit down to dinner. We're trying to go somewhere. And we're like, hey, Ryan, we're gonna go see the fireworks. We're gonna go to the pool. We're gonna go do something. We're all leaving. Wouldn't even look at you. His jaws agape, staring up at this tiny little screen, just his thumbs just going on the remote control. Uh-huh.
God, so many times I had to throw him out. He's like,
He really did.
Going. And he's like, okay.
Yep.
I'm like, you too, MFer. Get out of here, you little bastard.
But also he during the train tracks with the coins, he also bringing his bike over there and riding back and forth across the tracks while the train was coming. I don't know what he was trying to prove, but we're all like, hey, maybe you should stop doing that. And he's like, I'm going to go one more time. And we're like, oh my God, maybe he'll die.
I know. I was like, all right, well, Switch Penny's cool.
Maybe this trip will be a little bit more entertaining this time. If he leans into it right, we also get a free bike.
That would be amazing. Get a bike. Eventually, I did buy rollerblades with my cemetery money, which sounds weird to say out loud, but
I wonder if that's the same summer that Christina and I got skates.
Yep.
Or at least they were past. I know that they were not brand new.
No.
But I didn't know how to use them. So Dad, bound and determined to show us how to use them, brought us down to Grand Haven to go rollerblading. You know, the fun and the sun and the sand and the memories. But instead of showing us on the sidewalk or in the parking lot in a less populated area, he had us put our skates on at the beginning of the pier
Right.
and he's just like, just skate to the end of the pier. And I'm like, but there's water and rocks and it's the middle of July. So it's also full of people. Like
I'm 7. I don't know if this is appropriate.
And I'm like, I was like, well, I don't know how to skate very well. And I was like, also, I can't swim. I don't know what it is. I have never been able to swim well. But also, I think it's just like my body makeup. I just sink like a rock.
No, it's because you spent your formative years in a hospital.
Okay, long story short, I'm not a great swimmer. But when I have skates strapped to my feet and my built-in flippers and my little size 3 foot can't make contact with the water because there's a fucking shoe with wheels attached to it, that also becomes a problem because they weigh half of me.
Yeah. This all sounds like the reason why warning labels no longer say adult supervision and now say competent. Can't be sure. But it sure seems
needless to say, I didn't learn how to skate that day. But I did get yelled at because Dad took me all the way out there to learn how to do it, and I just wouldn't do it because I was too scared. He's like, I don't understand why you just won't do it. He's just like, it's easy. And I'm like, And also, because it's the pier, that's not smooth concrete.
I was going to say, it's all covered in sand and crap.
Well, not just, like, it's cracks. I mean, we get a thing called winter.
Oh, yeah.
It's not kind to our roads. It's definitely not kind to the concrete pier that just holds up a lighthouse to walk your way out there. So, the whole situation, I think I just like tippy-toed my way out there on the stoppers without having to actually use them. And
so you ballerinaed your way out?
That's how I survived that day.
Wise decision. Wise decision.
Christina skated a little bit, but that's because Dad was holding her hand.
Of course he was. That's so sweet.
It's very nice.
And I understand you're the spoiled child anyway, so I'm surprised he wasn't holding your hand. That makes sense.
So Dad spoiled Christina, Mom spoiled me, but there was no crossover there.
No, not at all. Yes, and by the way, there were 2 other children. There was myself and my younger brother David, and no, we were no one's favorite. We were always the also ran. I don't know. Grandma Flo seemed to like David.
Oh, that's good. I always just assumed that Grandma Flo and then Grandma Ewald, which was her mother. I just heard stories about basically when Scott and Eric came along that they just like got all the things.
They did. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as Scott and Eric weren't there, David was the preferred one.
Gotcha.
I guess I was just an asshole. I don't know what else to say.
Which real quick. So our mother has 2 older siblings, and her oldest sister is Debbie, and she has 2 children. So those are our cousins, Scott and Eric, and they're out of all the cousins, they are the first 2 oldest, and then it's Ryan, then it's David, and then the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do an episode to break down our family bush tree. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll have to change some names to protect the innocent on that one. So, back to Grand Haven. So, for fun, we went to Ray's, which is a great hamburger stand. Still there, by the way.
Still there.
Oh, man, maybe we should go there for dinner.
Oh, shit. Can we?
Yes, we can. I would say I'll take you to Blockbuster afterward, but...
We can go stand where Blockbuster was and eat our Ray.
Yes. And we'll post it Insta.
Oh, do you think the campground's open? Like, does it not close to maybe the end of October? Could we just like go drive and go stand in our old lot?
Hell yeah. If it still exists, yes, let's go.
I think it does because I drove past there. Was it last year for something I had to go to that side of the state, and there were campers in there.
Oh, yeah, we can drive behind because it's Gage Chevy, right?
I thought it was the Ford dealership. I thought Gage was a little further up. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of another place, but there was a dealership there The
There was
dealership is still
definitely-
there.
Yeah, that's the place that Dad worked at. Oh, I don't know that you ever heard that story, why he stopped working there.
No. I just know that he got his job back at the Fremont dealership at a separate time. The second time he got out of prison.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to, well, maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode, why he was no longer working at Gage.
Yes, please do.
That was,
Maybe you can shoe that in with some of my questions.
oh, I can.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, that should be fun because there's a lot of fun stories to tell in that regard.
Okay, maybe
Holy
I
balls.
can drum some of them up. So when Ryan and I last got together, we made a cute little list about our what our episodes might pertain to, and I was asked to make a question list, so I did. And so I guess question number 1: what was the most unsettling, upsetting thing that happened while we were in Grand Haven? It could be something that just happened to you in general, something that was happening to us, something that happened to Dad, I guess or all three. What stuck with you, resonated with you the most that you're like, oh, that wasn't okay?
Is it okay if it happened more than once?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So just north of Grand Haven is a city called Muskegon, for those of you that don't know. And specifically, there's an area called Muskegon Heights. It's, yeah, that's how we all feel about it, Samson. So in Muskegon Heights, we'll say that it's a less affluent area. If you wanted to buy certain goods or services, it's a good place. Like if you wanted to buy crack, it's a great place to go.
It's a real farmer's market of sadness.
It's a real farmer's market of sadness. I didn't think about it like that, but now that you bring it up, yeah. So, sometimes, okay, almost always, Dad would just disappear. And, which wasn't unusual or concerning, but it was bad. So, and I didn't get concerned, like when he would, everybody come up Friday, right? And like, if I didn't see him till Saturday morning, that wasn't a big deal. Mm-hmm. But there was a couple times where I didn't see him and it was Saturday night. And then I was like, crap. So I was 15, so I didn't have a driver's license. So I had to make some decisions. So what I would typically do is make sure that Sandra, Christina, and David ate. Make sure Sandra got her night medication. And then while that was going on, I had previously used the payphone and asked Grandma or someone to come up and pick me up. Because then when the kids would go to bed, I would go out into Muskegon Heights looking for my father. And that's weird. Because the other thing too is it's not like he had like a pile of money. So like when he'd get paid, he'd cash his check and have the envelope. And then I would hand him a certain amount back out of it. And then I'd pocket a few bucks to make sure that like us kids had what we needed. And I'd give the rest to Grandma to make sure, child support got paid, lot rent got paid and all that stuff. But the problem is that Dad would still spend his entire paycheck on crack. So when I'm going out to find him on Saturday night, I know that he ran out of money Friday night. So I know that he's continued his habit by ripping people off. So one of his common tricks would be to, say, hey, I need a 20 rock or whatever. And he'd have like a piece of paper crumpled up and he'd crumple it up real good. And, cause you're trying not to attract any attention. You just, hold your hand out over the window with the piece of paper palmed and you make your swap. And then of course they'd right away know they just got screwed. And so he peels off, take it out. So there was during that time, one night where I found the van abandoned with all the windows broken out.
Not the Chevy van.
Yes.
Did they take our table?
They left the table.
Oh, thank God.
And
what else is he going to do his drugs off of?
I know. But they also left the enthusiasm because, good Lord, did they beat the shit out of that van to show their displeasure because he had run out of gas. So now, he's on foot. He's made everyone at the local farmer's market angry at him. And this didn't just happen once. This happened a number of times. And that sucked because I'm 15 years old and I'm going into said farmer's market looking for somebody who's supposed to be a role model who is too busy to make sure that they're, I'm the oldest, right? 15, 13-year-old, 10 and 8?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like that. Depending on what month it was, I guess. To make sure they all had dinner and the youngest got her literal life-saving medication. Who's also supposed to be fucking monitored, I might add. Oh, hold on. Also supposed to be monitored, I might add. See, I don't think I'm going to edit that out. That was fun. Anyway.
Well, you would have had to have edited me quite a few times thus far.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Whoopsie doodle.
I think we'll get the warning on iTunes. I'll take it. So that was probably the most disconcerting because that was so frustrating to me because I had been defending him to Mom the entire time. Mm-hmm. You got to give the guy another chance. You got to give the guy another chance. He's really going to clean up his act. He's really trying well. And that really disturbed me a lot. It really did. And then, because at first he was buying a lot of stuff inside the park, hard to believe that with all these transients, you could buy drugs. So he would buy crack from this guy whose name I need to change. We'll call him Rad with
Rad?
a B. And go ahead and figure that out. Go ahead. All right. You're done? Good work. Great work, detective. Anyway, so Rad with a B would sell him crack, but Rad with a B very quickly figured out don't front him.
Yeah.
So there was a few times I had to pay Rad with a B to clear things up. And Rad with a B and I got along well enough where he stopped. He was just like, this isn't worth the hassle. And Rad with a B was fine taking some weed to not sell either. So to sell to him anymore. So I guess that was probably the most messed up thing. Because it just happened all the time. Like it was
constant. It was
a
literally
schedule.
it was literally every weekend. This is what to expect. Like we'd watch our scary movies, right? We'd make sure that we were in bed at a decent hour, and then you or David would give me my my medication, and part of it was this was for anybody on anti-rejection medication. This was before pill form was an option, so it's not. Here's a pill, here's a cup of water, swallow this real quick, then you can go to bed. No, this had to be dosed out with a syringe or a, like those spoon measuring cups that you put like children's cough syrup in. And it was, it didn't taste good.
No.
That was the cyclosporin was worse than the prednisone.
Oh my God. I got some of that on my finger one day because I had to clean this stupid bottle and I had some of my finger in it and I was like, I wonder why she makes such bad faces. And then I licked it and I was like, oh, that's disgusting. And
like to this day, I can remember what it tastes like. And the only thing, like the cyclosporin especially, it was like concentrated vodka mixed with earwax.
That is spot on. Damn. Good work.
And it wasn't until I started.
All right, Jelly Belly, did you hear your new flavor?
And it wasn't until I started drinking that I was just like, oh, you see, I keep watching like media and stuff, and you see people like make faces when they do a shot of whiskey or whatever else. And I wasn't like making a face because I was like, well, this isn't the most disgusting thing I've ever had. But I was like, oh, this vodka tastes kind of familiar. And I go, oh, no. Because by the time I was like 12 or 13 was when they finally did pill form for these anti-rejection medications.
How convenient.
So yeah, the cyclosporin was definitely worse. The prednisone was bitter, but it was not as jarring as the cyclosporin.
Fortunately, I mean the prednisone was done in the child's cough syrup thing, and the cyclosporin was in a 1 ml syringe. So,
but there was also a blood pressure medication you had to give me that you broke the capsule apart, put it in a spoon that had water in it, so I had to consume the powder mixed with the water.
Correct.
I remember that.
Yeah, because you were midget size.
Yeah.
You're still fun size. But especially then you were fun size, and they didn't make it for children.
Oh, okay.
And it was not, I don't think it was approved for children. And so they didn't make child size ones, but you needed it unless you have a stroke or heart attack. So yeah, the answer is you take a capsule and you figure out, you're like, it's about, what do I got to give her? Half a pill with this blood
They're like
pressure?
little tiny measuring cups for mice.
Exactly. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's half, right? We're good? We're good? Okay, cool. And you put it in a spoon like you're making heroin. You add in a little bit of water. Yeah, that was fun. Probably not something I should have been doing at that age.
Yeah.
But whatever. Oh, so sometimes y'all would ask where Dad was. And as little poor children, the only way to distract them was candy. So on my way in today,
Oh, no.
I got my favorite treat I like to give everybody when they started asking dumb questions.
Shut the fuck up.
They didn't have Shasta Cola.
I was going to say, where the fuck's my Shasta? Where the fuck's my Shasta?
That was close. Oh. You missed it. That button. Got to hit the pink button.
Oh, the pink button. Where the
Exactly. But I chose Sour Punch straws, and you may be like, wow, that's a great candy. Why did you choose Sour Punch straws? Because they taste great? No, because it's a package of a lot of them. So every time they would say, I can shove a Sour Punch straw in their mouth, so they stop asking. And eventually they'd learn not to ask. Really what they learned to do is ask more so they could giggle and get more Sour Punch straws. But
So I do distinctly remember, like, Dad wasn't there, and we knew that Dad had a problem. But to my brain, I don't know why, if this was something I picked up or if this is something you or David told me, you always said Dad was at the bar.
that was me, yeah.
So it was, that was more of a socially acceptable answer. It's like, well, I don't like that my dad's at the bar all the time. Like, I know my dad has a problem with drinking. But, it is what it is because we have Ryan to take care of us. It's like, okay, our dad has, his demons, whatever. But we got Ryan. But, it wasn't until later I was like, well, he might have started at the bar, but he wasn't at the bar.
No. He'd always say he was going there. And
maybe that's why I thought that's because that's what he said.
that's what he would normally say. And then I would just always follow up and say the same thing. I always felt terrible about lying, but drug addiction also at the time wasn't considered like a medical issue.
Right.
So that's just a failure of personal responsibility and a failure of self-control, not a medical issue. So did Dad have a problem with alcohol? Just when he drank. Did he have a problem with cocaine? Yes, just when he did it.
But I think that's why that was the answer I accepted because I always saw him with alcohol.
Correct.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so he went out to get more alcohol because we don't keep it at the camper. So to my 8-year-old brain, that just made sense to me. I'm like, oh, okay, he went to the bar.
Yeah, the only alcohol we had at the camper were 40 ounces of Mickey's.
Yeah.
I had 40s of Mickey's because I was determined to start drinking. I was like, eventually this is not going to be terrible. By the way, it always was.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't just the Mickey's because I don't drink now. So, and it's not just because of Dad, and not just because of the later stories you'll hear too, where drinking did cause some problems. So, I guess that's one thing is, about Dad. And by the way, he apologizes to me for that stuff like all the time.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're getting it.
Well, you were never his favorite.
Oh, no, not at all.
And not that I was. I apparently was just the codependency. So, because I just took care of the mess all the time and cleaned everything up.
Well, not saying that he said it to my face, but he pretty much from day one, it was known to me that he didn't want me there, that I caused a lot of problems for him and his situation. And he kind of just treated me like the stepchild, and I just tried to stay out of his way. And it was just sort of like this unspoken mutual agreement that we had. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, you don't like me that much, so I guess I'm not going to like you that much. I just live in your house.
With great irony, he treated you as the stepchild. Yeah, I think because on our plan next is the how did we title that? Let me look. Oh, disease causes dis-ease. It's not a crack house; it's a crack home. I think I can give you some good details why on that one, why that was the feeling, because that is when things, quote unquote, fell apart for him. And you can learn this and more things on part 2 of our story on Grand Haven. That's right, part 2. We recorded this thing and it went over an hour, and we promised we'd try to keep everything around 30 minutes or so, but we failed pretty miserably. So I guess I should apologize. So next time you'll hear more about that, as well as I'll finish answering all of Sandra's questions. We'll see you soon. If you like the podcast you just heard, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, check us out at patreon.com/pessimism and Pop-Tarts. There are special benefits for members, such as ad-free listening, early access, and free and discounted merch for members. There's a plan for any budget, from tent campers to those of you MFers throwing around RV money. You can also get the latest updates on our website, pessimismandpoptarts.com. Whether you're a patron or just like the show, please tell your friends. And if you hate the show, you know what? Tell your enemies, because frankly, they sound awesome. Anyway, until next time.
And more amusing. But why can't you just